to run through these two poles. And again, if you can allow yourself to focus inwardly, sit comfortably in a focused, meditative, contemplative space and posture. You don't need to take notes. You want to really learn to become, deeply able to deeply observe your inner experience and able to access a level of subtlety in yourself. So you can start to become a scientist of your own experience from the inside out, not as a witness observer that's separate, but as a real contemplative scientist of the interiors of ourselves. Because that's going to open up not just information that we're going to get, but it's going to open up a quality of exploration and a quality of interest and curiosity, which that quality of interest and curiosity in and of itself is going to reveal new things about how to be together in a marriage. That's very interesting. That has nothing to do with anything about the marriage itself changing, but has to do with our ability to see more depth, more dimensionality. So as you sit in that meditative space, we're going to go from an experience of space, relaxation. Allow yourself to experience that stability, wholeness. Feel into it. Feel what it evokes in your emotional sense and also in your sense of consciousness, sense of expansion, peace, oneness, as it starts to broaden in your experience. You almost feel like the walls are moving backwards. And there's space. And that space isn't empty. It's filled with life, but it's even. Experience the relaxation. Experience a sense of joy. See if you can feel the positivity and acceptance and love that emerges in your own experience just by putting your attention on that sense of space. And now start to experience what happens when that space starts to become stagnant, doesn't move, has no life, isn't interested, like being in a stiflingly hot elevator, in a skyscraper in the summertime. Experience how no movement makes the walls close in. You feel dull, lifeless, disinterested, unmotivated, irritated, unhappy, distant. As you sink into that, no movement, just space, no energy. Of course, what's needed to move out of that is an injection of dynamism. It's time to infuse that space with movement, with energy, with change. It's going to take something active, because that dullness has its own pull. It has this kind of gravitational pull down. So as we inject the space with more energy, more dynamism, a sense of propulsion, reaching forward, so we start to experience that stretching for something else, that questioning, that willingness to agitate, to overturn, to create tumult, to create, to push things against each other, to just create movement. You can feel that in the space, it's almost like, different parts of our interior, different parts of our personalities, our psyches, our ideas, our values. They're like pinballs. They start bouncing off each other. Or like we're in a cyclotron, a particle accelerator, and, we're getting, the electrons are getting shot into the particles to blow them apart. And you just start to bounce different parts of your interiors against each other, so you can see what divides and what smaller pieces are there and how things can reconfigure. Feel the sense of possibility. Feel the sense of new emergence, the sense of disruption, punctuated change, of ways that you can start to think and feel and look and observe and come together in ways you didn't expect. You can see how even in long-term relationships, say you've been with your partner, your husband or your wife for 30 years, you can still, if you work with consciousness in this way, you can inject a level of dynamism into the relationship that can allow all kinds of new things to emerge. To feel the excitement, the enthusiasm, the forward-reachingness of it, and then experience what happens when there's too much change. Everything starts whirling around too fast. There's upheaval just for the sake of upheaval. There's bouncing into each other, into aspects of yourself. There's overturning values. There's upsetting ways of doing things just for the sake of change in a way that starts to become too much. There's no coherence. There's no cohesion. There's no place to rest. And then start to feel the kind of anxiety, the low-level anxiety that comes in, the insecurity, the instability. Am I doing it right? Am I ever going to recohere? Am I getting anywhere? Am I falling apart? Is the relationship falling apart? And just take note of what that sense of agitation feels like. Because again, we can work not just with the events of our lives, but we can work with the consciousness around us. We can work with these qualities. And as we start to experience too much anxiety, too much insecurity, upheaval with no direction, just for the sake of upheaval, you start to see we want to start moving back towards the other side. We want to re-inject a quality of space, stability, wholeness back into the space.